morning, all. Welcome you all in this webinar on scientific writing skills, Faculty of Pharmacy, Parul Institute of Pharmacy and Research, Parul University. I, Vaishali Patel, Assistant Professor, Department of Quality Assurance, Faculty of Pharmacy, Parul Institute of Pharmacy and Research, Dr. Hiren Shah, HOD, Department of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry, SNLPC, Surat. Sir has completed B.Pharm, Pune University 2002, completed M.Pharm from RJUHS, Bangalore 2005. Sir has awarded PhD degree 2011 from Sumandit Vidyapeeth. Has wrote 55 international and 8 national publications. Sir has awarded Lifetime Achievement Award ABI USA, an Excellence Award for Research and Innovations by IIT Delhi. It granted research grant 1 lakh rupees, industrial projects 2 lakhs, number of students guided M.Pharm 14 and PhD 8 students. Now with these introductions, I request to Dr. Hiren Shah to start this webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vaishali ma'am, for the nice introduction. And I am thankful to Parul University that they have scheduled a lecture on effective writing skill. Because in this era, these writing skill are the most important things that each and every person should have. We have lots of knowledge, but when the writing skill is not proper, we are unable to write our ideas into the paper. So with this, I will start my presentation. So effective writing skills in education. When any students enter into the college life, number of things they have to write, starting from the admission form, then applications, theses, some reports. Every time you require a writing skills, effective writing skills, because it's a wake-up call for college and career readiness that you should have to improve your writing skills, because the graduation rates are more than 80%, but the students who are coming to the college are not efficient in writing. Only 27% of high school seniors are considered proficient in writing, because 55% of college presidents reported an increase in plagiarism over the past 10 years. So why writing skills are important in academic stage? Any students in a high-level admission or institute will be usually required to write a variety of dissertations, papers, and essays throughout the whole period of their studies. As we facing the problem that when students come to us and writing an applications, there are lots of mistakes in the applications. So this is due to the lack of the writing skill. This writing task and assignments will cover a myriad of goals, objectives, and purposes. Sometimes this assignment can be written just by displaying and sharing personal experience or previously acquired knowledge, which required no effective research. But when we talk about the research, many times essays will require extra effort and additional research and the use of external resources to write down our thesis. So always we are confusing that what to write, how to write, when to start. Because sometimes you as a student will require to write an essay or any application or any dissertation in a limited period of time. So we have a limited period of time and we have to write so many things. So we are always confusing when to start, where to start, what points we should have to include. So, irrespective of actual assignment, understanding what is good writing and what are the proper technique to use will lead you to be able to produce a well-crafted essay in shorter times. So, good writing is also an important skill that translates into any career field. Nearly all professions require some form of writing in all business fields or in education fields. We are using emails, letters, reports, or any written communication for clients, co-workers, suppliers, and other contacts. In all these things, writing is an important skill to acquire. So always the confusion starts at what process do you use? What should be the writing strategies? What should be the process of writing an academic paper? What should be the structure of academic writing? It always comes into mind when you start writing anything. If you have a number of ideas, but it is a matter how do you organize your ideas. Lots of people are there who are having good ideas, but they cannot organize their ideas and they cannot convert it into the fruitful things. So before writing anything, we have to require some materials, that definitions, examples, personal views, why is this interesting, and debate in literature, that argument on positive sides or argument on the other sides. These all things we have to consider when we start writing anything. So this is a simple one flowchart when you have to start writing. So first, what is the subject of the essay, or what are the instructions given by your teachers? Then there should be a research and brainstorming and define the outlines. After defining outlines, brainstorming session, you should have to prepare a rough draft. That is called as the first draft. Then go into the deeper and detailed research, refine your draft, then pre-finalize your draft, and reflection, proofreading, and final review. After doing all these steps, you can submit your thesis or your dissertation or any of your essay. What we are doing is we are just simply copy paste, taking the materials from others and submitting it. We are not doing a brainstorming session. We are not doing the proofreading. Being the editor of many journals, I found that number of times in cut copy paste, people are not doing proofreading, and number of mistakes are there. And by taking that mistakes, we come to know that this is not the original work. This is what the copyrighted work. What is definition and how to start? So the first question that comes in the mind, that research. When anything you want to write, just research about it, that what are the materials that can be included in your draft. Once you know the scope and the subject of the task, it's time to start researching. First, you have to find out the scope and the subject of that particular task. Then do the research on that. Research does not mean that you have to find out something new. Research word itself indicates that research, whatever the things available, you just find it out and then start your working. So the main problem students are facing, that from where we have to find the research, or what research can be considered for the scientific writing. So research has been divided as what are credible sources, where to find them, and how many resources we have to include. Let's see one by one. What are the credible resources? A credible source for academic writing is one whose accuracy is supported by academic peer review and reference to a foundation of relevant established research. Means whatever the things you are taking, it should be have a academic peer review. It should be supported by academic peer review. That is a source with a solid authority within its discipline. Otherwise, what we are doing is the only God for writing is Google. We are taking the help of Google, Wikipedia, but the real credible resources are your textbook, book published by recognized author and publishers, paper published in scientific journals having impact factors, scholar and official websites that are regularly updated. Otherwise, I have seen some of the people writing the paper and taking the data from the internet, but that data should be of almost 10 years, 5 years back data, because they are taking it from the website which are not regularly updated. So always take the data from the website where the website are regularly updated. And another resources is scientific and scholarly database. So credible source is reviewed by expert in the field and cites the sources, in turn uses to generate and supports its argument. For example, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not a credible source. Even if a given article may be completely and verifiably true, but there is no academic authority present to validate its truth. So there is no academic authority which is present to validate that things given in Wikipedia we cannot use as a credible source, but we can use it as a starting point. You have to determine that content will you look for in this credible source to research your topic and to make yourself an expert in this topic. Then things become how many resources we have to use. You can use any number of resources. The number of needed resources depends on the type of paper. With 5 to 100 you can use the resources. There is no limit of any resources. You can use 5 resources if it justify your paper, and if a review article you can use 100 of resources to prove the academic validity of that particular things you have written. During research, start saving interesting sources and taking notes and summarize the attention, grabbing thoughts. Try to immerse yourself in the literature published recently. This is one of the most important things that we are not doing. We are only taking online references and just copy paste it. But save that article, read whole the article, underline the important notes, summarize it, and when you write your thesis, include that particular part. So many times in the thesis, we are find out that people are writing something and give the reference number. But when we ask for the hard copy of that particular reference, they do not have, or they do not know from which paragraph this part has been taken. So whatever you are writing, just make a note that from this paragraph we have taken this particular thing. After doing all the research, do a brainstorming session. Lots of thinking, what to write, what should be included, what should not be included, and what should be the flow of your article. But dear friends, brainstorming is a two-way coin. If you do a lot of brainstorming, you will be a confused person, because number of things in your mind will confuse you that what should write and what should not write, what should be included, what should not be included. So brainstorming should be up to a level, clear your mind and then write anything. Now the thesis statement. Thesis statement means the title of your thesis or title of your project, how to write this title. Generally what we are doing, the teacher or guide has given you a title and just writing that title. But think about the title, think what should be included in the title, what should not be included in the title. The thesis statement announces the topic of your essay and what you want to say about it. So what make a good thesis statement? So good thesis statement should include, it must be a statement, not a question. It must be a complete sentence. It is an opinion and shows intent. It cannot be a simple statement of fact and should have only one guiding idea. These are the points that should be kept in mind when you write any thesis statement or any title. Choose the main idea and pin it down in a clear statement. This has to be well summed up in a concise sentence, allowing the reader to know where you are going and why. A thesis statement should be specific and not too general. Otherwise, we are writing a general statement to study the drugs of, to study the pharmacological action of traditional indigenous medicinal plants. What should we understand with that? Which plant you are taking, which pharmacological action you are going to take. So it should be specific, not too general. Otherwise, you will have to write a lot of content to support it. Unless you are writing a long essay, this should be avoided. However, a thesis statement should not be too specific either, because you probably won't be able to write enough about it and finding sources to support will be hard. Means it should be not so general or not so specific. If you write that the title should be perform or evaluate the anti-analgesic, anti-inflammatory activity of XYZ plant, it is too specific. You cannot get so many reference to support your article. So always the title should be not so specific, not so general. To sum up, a thesis statement expresses your viewpoint on a subject. It introduces and anchors your argument. Should be stated explicitly in your introduction and conclusion, and should be validated by providing evidence in your essay. Whatever you write, you provide evidence for that. So it will authenticate your work. After research, after thesis statement, make a rough draft. First, you have to make a rough draft, including all the things that you have researched or you have pointed out. A draft is the preliminary and initial effort form of your essay. It is going to be subject to revision, amendment, and refining. Your draft should go on revision, amendments, refining. Okay. So it should be a rough version of your project. When writing your first draft, don't worry about your introduction. Pick the way that is the most comfortable for you. Location, tools like PC, handwriting. By which way you want to write, just write down. Write your first draft as rapidly as you can. So this is another important thing. When you perform a research, when you mention a thesis title, write your draft as soon as possible, because at that time all the ideas, all the research materials are going on in your mind. So you are easily find out that what should I have to write. As the time passes, the ideas from your mind get vaporized. So write your first draft as rapidly as you can to avoid writer's block and bracket those sections you cannot write yet. Try to finish a draft of the whole essay. Then after writing a draft, the most important things comes is proofreading. We are that much handicapped right now that we are doing the proofreading on only by using a computer or other softwares. All the teachers will know that don't take the soft copy of the project to do the proofreading. Ask them to submit a printed copy, because I is the best software to find out the mistake. No other software can bring you the mistakes as I can do it. So proofreading is the most important part. Proofreading means examining your essay cautiously to spot and correct mistakes in grammar, style, and spelling. There are online tools, but it is better to do it yourself. Be sure you are reviewed and brushed up the most important aspect of your content. Don't make corrections at sentence and word level if you still need to work on the focus, organization, structure, and overall writing of the paper. After first proofreading, leave your paper aside for a while, for a few hours or a few days, because continuously watching your paper can not show you the mistakes you have done. एक व्हाट्सएप पे एसएमएस ऐसा आ रहा है कि words are writing in letters differently, mismatched letters, but your eye can easily read it. First two or three words can be difficult, then you can write or you can read all the things easily. This is because once you leave the things or whatever the mistakes is there, when you see another time, after a few times, you can easily find out the mistakes. So once proofreading has been done, keep it aside. After a few hours or few days, then again go through it. So you will find more mistakes, and that will help you to see mistakes faster and more easily. Eliminate unnecessary words before looking for actual mistakes. Write short, clear, concise, and direct sentences. Also, from the previous comments of your professors on old papers. So, whatever the suggestions given by your professors or your teachers, you keep it for references. At this time, you should have to check whatever the corrections or whatever the suggestions given by your professors. It will be helpful for proofreading also. After doing all these things, now you are really ready for the actual proofreading of your paper, essay, or project. Start proofreading on a printout of your document before going back to on-screen editing. As I have told you that proofreading should be done on a printout basis, not on on-screen editing. While doing this, read out loudly to spot run-on sentences and hear other problems that you may not see while reading silently. When you are doing proofreading, read it loudly, because it will help you to find out the mistakes. Then go back to your text editor on your computer to use the spell check and search functions to find mistakes you are likely to make, or to correct the spelling of a word you wrote incorrectly many times. The list of common mistakes you created will helpful here. Once finished, print again the document for a final proofread. If you have wisely respected previous steps, you will only find few things to correct or adjust. And this process will help you write better content in the future too. Now we are talking about some thesis part or the introduction part. How to write introduction of any essay or any dissertation or any project. So in introduction, the first statement should be interesting question or a fact which attract or attain the reader's attention. If your situation or fact is interesting, people or reader will find interest to read your whole paper. Otherwise, they will know, okay, these are the things which I have read so many times, nothing new in that. After that first sentence, you should have to write bridge sentences. With bridge sentences means disconnect the first sentence to the thesis statement. And thesis statement states the main idea of the essay. So this includes the introduction part. Introduction should be signals the topic in an interesting way. Announce the main points of the paper. It includes your thesis statement, and its length should be proportional to your full paper, but not too long. So find out the proportions, how much introductions you can write. In seventh semester or in other project work, we found that students are writing 13 page, 15 page, 20 page of introduction, and the whole thesis is of 25 pages. So you should have to avoid such things. As per the length of your total project report, you have to find out the proportion. It should be around 10 to 15% of the whole length. Then an introduction should attain grabbing and can give a glimpse about how you are going to support your thesis. An introduction should not present background or general factual information, nor start with a dictionary definition, a clinch, a general truth, or a general grand generalization. But it should be some interesting fact. After introduction, you have to write the main body. So always main body is considered as the heart of your thesis or your project. You can see this beautiful hamburger or burger of Burger King. Delicious burger. But this burger is not that much delicious if this middle portion is not available. If only bun is given, it is have no taste. But this middle part or the main body makes it delicious. Okay? So like that, your main body part in your project make your paper really wonderful. Okay? So how to write a main body? So in main body, first you have to write a topic sentence, then 2 or 3 sentences which cover your topic, and after that you should have to include a concluding sentence. When you write a paragraph, in first paragraph you should have to write a topic sentence. Which topic you want to discuss? Support that topic with 2 or 3 sentences or more sentences. And in last 1 or 2 lines, the sentences should be concluded. Like that, one paragraph is completed. So by this way, you can write number of paragraphs. So depending on your paper instruction and length, the number of paragraphs in main sections varies from 1 to several paragraphs. So these are the number of paragraphs included in the burger also. So as these burgers include number of paragraphs, the height of the paper or height of the burger is increased. So these are the things that how you should have to include your paragraph or how to write a paragraph. First is a topic, then supportive sentences, and last 2 or 3 lines should be of its concluding part. The main body should include historical background, current mainstream versus alternative theoretical viewpoints, that is evaluation versus other theories, possible approaches to the subject, empirical, philosophical, historical, technical, etc., and current state of research studies. It is very important to enter or introduce a current state of the research studies. What are the current findings? Main body will also generally contain paragraphs about definition of words and concept, major issues and question raised, major theories to answer those questions, techniques, methodologies, and method use. As usual, this depends on your paper instruction. Then next part is conclusion. We have seen the hamburger. Number of layers of tiki and spinach and cheese are given. But these all things are not that much possible if your bottom bun is very important. Here you can see hamburger. Remember, hamburger is not outstanding without the bottom bun. So this bottom bun of your project is your conclusion. Conclusion is your bottom bun which hold the whole hamburger. So to write conclusion, first you have to start with restate thesis. That is the echo of the main idea, but don't simply repeat it. Then in the middle of the conclusion, write brief sentences that connect the restated thesis to the last sentence. And finally, you should have to write interesting question, fact, and leave reader with something to think on. What should be its future perspectives? What more we can do in that? How this particular project can be helpful to the society or the people? So conclude your session in such a way that people should have interesting questions or facts which lead them to think on. The conclusion states to the readers that you are winding up and preparing to finish off your paper. So in the conclusion, it is advised to rephrase the thesis statement along with the main ideas of your paper. The conclusion should be a logical wind up to what has been previously discussed. Never contains any new information unless it is a question or a future perspective. Usually it is the shortest part of the essay and add to the overall quality and impact of the essay. But the conclusion should not include just a summary. It should not end with a long question. It should not just focus on minor points of your argument, and it should not introduce any new material. The conclusion has to tie together the various issues enclosed in the body of the paper and to comment on the meaning of the whole writing. For example, implications resulting from your arguments, future perspectives, recommendations, trends, and what might need future research to improve this paper. So all these are the different topics of the paper writing or a thesis writing or any project writing. But apart from this, I would like to talk on some serious matters, that is plagiarism. This is the most trending thing in world and most hazardous to the education and to the writing fraternity. People are using only cut, copy, paste. To do a cut, copy, paste is not a big deal. Anyone can do it. But then what is your input in that? What is your idea? Only you are just becoming a thief, that you are taking another person's work. A good phrase is that trust is like a paper. Once it's crumbled, it cannot be perfect again. So once you have do a cut, copy, paste, you are doing the mischievous things. You cannot be a perfect again. Now the plagiarisms. All we are knowing what is plagiarisms. But there are three types of research misconduct. Not only plagiarism is the one thing, but plagiarism, fabrication, and falsification. Plagiarism is the appropriation of another person's idea, process, result, or word without giving appropriate credit. If you are taking anything from anyone's paper and you are not giving a credit to him, or not you are writing their name in the references, that is called as the plagiarism. Then what is fabrication? Fabrication is making up result and recording or reporting them. You are just making up, changing the results. This is sometimes referred to as the dry labeling. A more minor form of fabrication is where references are included to give arguments the appearance of widespread acceptance, but are actually fake and or do not support the argument. That is called fabrication. Then third is falsification. Falsification is manipulating research material, equipment, or process, or changing or omitting the data or result such that the result or research is not accurately represented in the research record. We are taking any paper, we are changing the data, we are changing the equipments, we can change the method and just simply give that data in our thesis. That is called as the falsification. Before doing plagiarism, just think about this, that one person is thinking that, oh no, forgot to do my science fair project and it's due tomorrow. So what I will do, so always a simple person can do, take another person's or take last year project and submit it. Okay. So may I could just reuse last year paper. It's a good idea. I mean, who's gonna know that? But dear friends, everybody is looking in this world, or if nobody is looking, your inner soul is looking that you are doing a cheating with yourself. And please do not cheat yourself, do not plagiarize, do not do a copy paste. And by doing only the copy paste is your dream. If it is not your dream, if you really want to do succeed, please don't copyright, don't do a copy paste. Plagiarism can have serious problems or consequences. When we saw the examples, we see that what are the different problems can arise when you do a plagiarism. For that, be original and don't plagiarize. For example, the president of Hungary, Mr. Skamit, quits in plagiarism scandal. This news is given by the BBC News Europe that the president of country Hungary have to resign from his post as a president because his doctoral thesis has found plagiarized. Mr. Skamit elected in 2010, okay, as a president, but as his duty, his thesis, doctorate thesis found plagiarized, and he has to resign from his post. Another example, that in 2016, Hindustan Times has reported that Vice Chancellor Chandra Krishnamurthy of the Pondicherry University had to quit her job. An honorable VC post, she has to quit a job after a prolonged standoff with the HRD ministry following allegations that she plagiarized large part of one of her books. And President Pranav Mukherjee has given approval to the HRD minister to recommend it to sack Pondicherry University Vice Chancellor Chandra Krishnamurthy because of this plagiarism problem. Even the US President, ex-US President Donald Trump's wife, Melania Trump, found herself in an online plagiarism probe when her speech at the Republican National Convention 2016 sounded very similar to a speech by Michelle Obama in 2008. You can easily find out this speech on the YouTube also. That same speech has been given by Melania Trump, which has been already given by the Michelle Obama in 2008. So this speech contains cloning and find and replace plagiarisms, which has been found in Turnitin. It is a good software to find out the plagiarisms. So whatever you write, you use a citations. It was a mistake. So from where you have written a mistakes, you give the citations. And if you cite it, nobody can issue it. So what is a source? A source is any person or a content from which you get information, what you use in your content. Like scholarly journals and books, online or printed, whatever it may be, websites or any online content, newspapers and magazines, a colleague or a classmate you ask, a television show, that can be used as a source, but you have to cite that from where or which sources you have written this particular statement. A citation simply means clearly giving credit where credit is due and tells the readers where the information comes from. In your paper, you cite or refer to the source of information. Then what is citation and what is reference? A reference gives the readers details about the source so that they understand what kind of source it is, to judge credibility among other things, and how to find the source themselves if necessary. References are typically listed at the end of the writing. What is a good citation? Good citation indicates the author, title, and publication information for the used source, which word ideas come from which sources. When you shift from your own words and ideas to the ones of another, include source, writer's name, and signal phrase. Some of the common knowledges are there. Like Riyadh is the capital city of Saudi Arabia. We all are knowing. Cell nucleus contains DNA, all are knowing. We all are knowing that water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. So these are the common knowledge. And this common knowledge does not require a citation. But still, if you have a doubt in that, you can cite it. Why citing source is important? For the sake of honesty and to give due credit to the person who have originally done the thing. To show that research and content are credible. To prove the relevance or importance of the topic. And to help readers identify further sources. But why people are doing plagiarism? Because we don't know why it is important to cite sources. We are lacking of confidence in our own ideas and languages. We actually cannot answer the writing assessment. We don't know how to use citation. This MLA, API are the different citation agencies or citation process. We are not knowing. That's why what we are doing, we are just simply doing a cut, copy, paste. And we are the part of plagiarisms. So, in 2002, plagiarism has been divided in 10 parts by Turnitin. That is clone, control C, find and replace, remix, recycle, hybrid, mashup, 404 error, aggregator, and reteach. These are the 10 different types of plagiarisms. What are they? Clone. Clone means submitting another works word for word as one's own. The same word-to-word copy has been taken and submitted. That is called as the cloning or clone. Then control plus C. contains significant portion of text from a single source without alteration. Most of the part has been taken as same to same without any alterations. Then find and replace. Same to same part has been taken, but few of the terms has been changed. We will find the terms and replace it. Okay. The changing keywords and phrases, but retaining the essential content of the source. For example, you can see here that since its first discovery by non-indigenous, this word non-indigenous has been found and it will be replaced as non-native. The word has been changed, but the its thing is remain same. Again, here it is written in the mid 19th century. The 19 word has been replaced by numerical. Meaning does not change, only the word is changed. This is called as find and replace type of plagiarism. Then remix, that paraphrases from multiple sources and made it to fit together. From different sources, same thing has been copied and you can use it. That is called as the remix type of plagiarism. Then recycle, that borrows generously from the writer's previous work without citation. If you are taking the thing and you are not writing a citation, those you are recycle plagiarism. Then hybrid, it combines perfectly cited sources with copied passage without citation. Then mess up, it is a mixed copied material from multiple resources. The next is 404 error. It includes citation to non-existent or inaccurate information about sources. Means you have taken some of the articles, some of the paragraphs, but whatever the citation you have given, that is not belong to that particular thing. Randomly you have given a number and you have cited some references or some citation, but actually it does not belong to that particular citation. So that is called as the 404 error. The next plagiarism is aggregator, which includes proper citation to sources, but the paper contains almost no original work. Whatever the citation you have taken, but no original work in this. That is called aggregator. And third is retweet. This Twitter is now trending. Number of issues are having in India with the Twitter. From that, this plagiarism has been given. Retweet, include proper citation, but rely too closely on the text, original wording, and on structure. The same structure has been given, same citation has been given. Here you can see that since its first discovery, change from its earliest discovery by non-indigenous people, this retweeting of that particular things and it relies too closely on the text, original wording. That is called as the retweet. It is also one kind of plagiarism. But after that, in 2002, these 10 plagiarisms, after 10 years, Turnitin software found other types of plagiarisms also, and in 2002, they have given a plagiarism spectrum 2.0, which includes 12 types of plagiarisms. In 2010, they have given 10 types of plagiarisms. Now in 2020, they have given a second spectrum or spectrum 2.0, which include 12 different types of plagiarisms. First is students' collusion, working with other students on an assignment meant for individual assessment. Then second is word for word plagiarism, that is copy and paste content without proper attribution. Third is self plagiarism, that is reusing once previously published or submitted work without proper attribution. The same work what you have done previously, the same again you submitting, that is a self-plagiarism. Then mosaic plagiarisms, that weaving phrases and text from several sources into one's own work and adjusting sentence without quotation marks or attribution. Then the most important software-based text modification. Today's number of softwares are available online that you write you copy your paragraph and they will change the word, they will make a modification and give you the text. So that is also called as the plagiarism. Then contract cheating. Number of agencies or parties are there who can take money from you and write your project. They take fees or they take monetary assistance and they will write the things for yourself. This is also called as the contract cheating. It is your project, you have to do. Why you pay money to the other people's? It means you are cheating with yourself, your entire fraternity. Please stop this contract cheating. Then another plagiarism is inadvertent plagiarisms. That is forgetting to properly cite or quote a source or unintentional paraphrasing. And paraphrase plagiarism, computer code plagiarisms, copying or adapting source code without permission from the attribution to the original creator. Then source-based plagiarism, manual text modification, and data plagiarisms. So these are the 12 different type of plagiarisms that has been included in the Spectrum 2C. What is paraphrase? When you paraphrase, your objective is to rewrite a statement with a different structure and using different words without altering the original meaning and organization of a content. So my advice to all the students and fraternities, faculties, that give a pledge that I will not plagiarize another's work. Find ways to prevent yourself from being a plagiarism, because the whole world is looking at you. Once you find out a plagiarized person, that tag will always remain with you. If your one paper is found plagiarisms, always the peoples are looking at you that you are not an original person. You are a plagiarized person. So always they will think that you are going to do the plagiarism. No one will be creditable to you for your originality. So in this case, reading is always a good idea. Read as much as you can, or make a habit to read at least 15 to 30 minutes every day, because book will take you to the places where you deserve. So to hide yourself from the writing a project is a past. The future is you can do it. You can do a very good writing. You can improve your skill. You can impress your readers with your presentations, with your different writing skills. So various online materials and resources which I have taken from preparing these PowerPoint presentations, because when we are talking about references and writing skills, and if I'm not going to write the citations, this will be also a plagiarism. These are the few things from which I have taken the material. Thank you all of you for the attention and listening this. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Dear participants, if you have any queries, please feel free to ask.
I always think that I have heard a sentence which has been written somewhere that જ્યારે દુર્જનો બોલતા હોય ત્યારે સજ્જનોએ ચૂપ રહેવું જોઈએ. So I always think that why you students are not asking the questions. If questions are not arise, it means either you are not clearly understand or either you understand all the things. I hope you understand all the things which I have covered and try to cover to improve your writing skill. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing informative knowledge and valuable time with us with basic writing skills, research problem solving, research paper writing skill with examples. It's really helpful to current master students and PhD students. Sir, I would like to share e-certificate as a token of gratitude on behalf of Faculty of Pharmacy, Parul Institute of Pharmacy and Research, Parul University. Sir, kindly accept this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kiran
you,
sir.
Tanvi madam. Thank you,
As the
Tanvi madam.
certificate was not shown, so thank you so much, sir, for sharing the valuable information with the students and faculty members. I'm sure that they will be benefited with this, and thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and giving us the slot for the webinar. Once again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It will be a pleasure for me.
So we end up here. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you all for joining
Thank
the
you.
session.
Thank you.